Welcome back to another video. It's me, Jared Social here, and it's been a while since you've seen me uploading on this channel, and the only reason for that is because I have my final exams coming, and I just finished writing my final exams recently, and just wanted to take a break. And yeah, before we go on to this video, I just want you to, if you want to read the full detail, you can go to my community posts, which I posted the other day. And before we're gonna go with this full match card reveal, I just want to take a look at your screen, and it's saying it is going to be live on August. Well, it is not there. We have completely reached December right now, and JTSAMANIA 6 Night 1 will be live on December, and JTSAMANIA 6 Night 2 will be live on January. For further information, you can read my posts. And so, without further ado, let's go in with the full match card. So, in combination of 2 nights, we've got a total of 6 matches. But let's go on with night 1 first, as this is for the Intercontinental Champion. It is a triple threat match, and this is the match that has just been announced on the last episode of JTS Wrestling. That is the final episode before JTSAMANIA 6. And there's nothing much to tell here, there's nothing much story here. It's just on that episode of JTS Wrestling, the last episode previously, Sheamus just come in and he wanted to issue an open challenge, and there was Eric Bateman and Naomi were answering his challenge, and the general manager, I think so, turned this match to a triple threat match, and it is going to be live on night 1. And so, yeah, we wrap up with the first match on the whole card. And the next match I'm going to discuss is for another mid-card champion, and in this case it is the Red Belt Championship, and it's going to be defended by AJ Styles, who is holding the Red Belt Champion. I believe he's holding this champion almost up to a year, and I think so when he defend that title, he will be for a whole 365 days. But this story started when AJ Styles was just coming out. I believe it was the JTS Wrestling before Fastlane. So AJ Styles was just coming up, and he said that he got no one to challenge with the Red Belt Champion. He has been defending all across the nation, all across the company, all across the world, and he only appears once in a blue moon. That's correct, he's a part-timer, a part-time champion here, as he's holding the beautiful Red Belt Champion, but he will be defending against a former 2-time Red Belt Champion, Spider-Man, and Spider-Man is the inaugural Red Belt Champion. He was the person that wins the champion first when the champion was being introduced to JTS Wrestling. And yeah, so this match I haven't planned this. It has been like mostly it's been months, and I forgot to tell you on the first match how did I plan. But yeah, AJ Styles and Spider-Man were going to clash into who is going to be the great Red Belt Champion, because it's been a debate for AJ Styles and Spider-Man. It's been a debate because both these two have had long reigns, and both these two have been the greatest talented wrestlers in this company. And when it comes for the Red Belt Champion, it is these two who is going to battle, and the winner will be that great champion, that great Red Belt Champion. And from night 2, we move again to night 1, as this has been official on the last episode of JTS Wrestling, between a big brawl and both these two dropping F-words on each other. And this is a long story to tell, because this story started, this whole rivalry started back on the year 2022, that is last year, and soon it will be 2 years ago. Well, time flies. But it was that day when The Undertaker was facing Sheamus and Triple H was frustrated because he didn't get the opportunity to challenge the YouTube champion at that time, which I don't remember. But I think so that Triple H powerbomb Undertaker on top of Sheamus, and from that, these two have not met. And these two have went on different stories, different path. The Undertaker has go through a lot of hardship, and yeah, so the Undertaker has been like featuring on G's Wrestling, and it's been a long time since the Undertaker was featured on G's Wrestling, but he was featured back previously on G's Wrestling. So the Undertaker hasn't been the champion, but on the other hand, on the other story, Triple H was a world champion, and he shockingly defeated Orford on an episode of G's Wrestling that is after Revolution, if I am thinking correctly, because Triple H went on to a gruesome rivalry against Orford, and Triple H was a person that pushed Orford to the limits, and he not only pushed him to the limits, but he was the person that beat him for the world champion. He became the world champion earlier this year when he pedigreed Orford through a table and he climbed up and retrieved the world champion. But when he defend the champion in a 3 Stages of Hell match against Orford, that was at Fastlane. It is the night where Triple H lost the world champion, and everybody was happy. I think so. The fans watching this video will be happy because nobody likes Triple H as world champion, and the boss himself, me, I don't like it, and I'm saying personally. But yeah, so story between these two is that one go on to a different path and the other two a whole different, and one of them became world champion. And this is what became interesting because these two met each other backstage when the Undertaker was giving us a huge return on GS Wrestling, and when he accidentally bumped into Triple H, and both these two having some war of words, and they remember everything that they have done, that they have been together back 2022, soon to be 2 years ago, and it's been a great rivalry to be heading into JTSAMANIA 6 Night 1, because not only they are going to compete just like that, they're going to compete in a no holds barred, and I think so. This is going to close the chapter because the Undertaker and Triple H, these are two of the great legends that are here. These are the two of the superstars that are into this company, that was in this company when this company started. And there it is, The Undertaker and Triple H. And let me know your predictions. Who is going to win this match? And next up, it is for JTSAMANIA 6 Night 2. And this one is an interesting one because let me tell you a story that Brandon, the general manager, told me that Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton were involved in a backstage fight behind closed doors. And gladly, the general manager of Jace Wrestling, Brandon, was there to separate these two along with securities, and he said he had enough that both these two will be competing at JTSAMANIA 6 Night 2. And when he told me that, I was shocked. It was like the first backstage fight that I've ever heard in Jace Wrestling, other than the other wrestling promotions, of course. But let's not give a reference to any other wrestling company. Let's just stay professional here. And Brandon told me that these two were going to fight at JTSAMANIA 6, but I'm telling him this is a dumb idea, dude. Why are you gonna be such a dumbass and say that these two going to fight again? Like, these two have fight already twice. Like, they have been in a singles match, they've been a triple threat match on Fastlane with Seth Rollins, and he's the guy that's going to main event JTSAMANIA 6 Night 2 with his friend, with his boss, the leader of the Judgment Day, Edge. And I've got an idea for this. I'm like, what if we do a triple threat match. And Brandon was like telling to me, how's gonna be a triple threat match? Because it was only Brock and Randy Orton. There's not another person in it. And I was like, silly you dumbass. It's like, bro, let us sign another wrestler. Let us do that and give it to this match. And yeah, so I don't know who is going to be the mystery opponent. Brandon doesn't know. And if you know, then leave your predictions, leave your comments down below, because me also, generally and personally, I don't know who's going to be, because I've not met with anybody, I've not like signed with anybody, and nobody is in JS Wrestling. Or maybe it could be one of the wrestlers that is currently signed, or maybe it's gonna be Hulk. But you're gonna see at JTSAMANIA 6 Night 2 that's going to be live on January 2024. And for further information about that, you can look at my community posts. And also, this is not going to be just a regular triple threat match. It is going to be a number one contender for any world champion of your choosing. And the winner of this match will get a shot at the world champion site, whether they want to face for the world heavyweight champion or whether they want to face for the YouTube champion. And this is going to be a pretty interesting match. And yes, it's finally time for the main event of night one. It is The Miz taking on Orford for the world heavyweight champion. And so this all started when Orford was giving out a speech after Fastlane, and then he won to have a match with at JTSAMANIA 6, and The Miz do so and interrupt him, and they went on to do a promo battle and sets up for JTSAMANIA 6. But I do not want to finish with that, because this is going to be the main event. And for this is a very important match, and this is going to be the best match in Miz's career, because he's already won the Intercontinental Champion, and he's going to fight in order to become the world champion. That is, if he wins this match. And this is going to be a highly anticipated match, because this is a dream match, of course. We have never seen this match in JS Wrestling until now. And this is having a great big money match feeling between these two, because these two went on to the same story, but Orford was getting signed first, because Orford was the person that wins back the world champion at Fastlane, whereas The Miz lost the Intercontinental Champion at Fastlane. And so these two were like in a similar story, but with different destinations, because The Miz is the greatest Intercontinental Champion, of course, in this company, but he was getting smashed by Sheamus, and I don't know how he is going to go into this match. Is he prepared? I think so. By his mentality, by his physicality, he is mentally and physically prepared for this match. But for Orford, as he's the world champion, he's the main guy, the JTS champion, the person that is before was in a tag team partner with Francesco. They were called the OC, and it was one hell of a run for Orford, and it is a pretty long way for Orford from being a tag team partner with Francesco to be main eventing JTSAMANIA 6 Night 1 with The Miz. And I know both these two have a different stories for both of their careers respectively. And so this is what you're gonna feel in professional wrestling when both of the guys fought, not just because to win for the champion, but because both of these two went on to a same story, but with different paths and with different things to be wanting to achieve to reach the full potential. But imagine if The Miz walks out as the world champion. Everybody will be shocked, because The Miz debuted in JS Wrestling in 2021, and he's so fast. He's the only person that wins the Intercontinental Champion just just so many months, just a little bit of time and being the champion. Like nobody have achieved that in this company. But the Miz is a person that we call the A-lister. And by saying the A-lister is the A-lister. And this is going to be the main event for night one. And I hope that's clear with the JTSAMANIA 6 night one. And now we will move on to the main event of night two. This is the match that everybody has and will be waiting for. It is two of the Judgment Day members that is going to collide in the main event of night two. And everybody's hype up for this match. And not only that, because this is going to be a dream match. A match in the making between two lovelihood. I mean, like, two members that are in a particular faction are going to collide. Like, everything that these two have been created in 2J's Wrestling, this all was, as stated, ESTD was, this faction, the Judgment Day, was debuted last year, 2022. And the Rated R superstar Edge and Seth freaking Rollins. These two have been one of the greatest generational talent in JTS Wrestling. And not only that, because it's not only that Seth Rollins has a mountain to climb, Seth Rollins is going to be on the top of the mountain, but because Seth Rollins wants Edge to understand that this is his moment. Seth Rollins wants Edge to understand that everything that he has stood for over these past couple of years in JTS Wrestling is that he wants to be on top. But it's not that he have to defeat Edge. It's not that a must for him that he have to defeat the Rated R superstar. He will do whatever it takes. He have delivered a passionate promo, and we have heard the sad story of the Rated R superstar Edge. And I'm still sorry for Edge that he had lost both of his parents. And if I would be an orphan like the Rated R superstar with no parents, I would be a spoiled little brat. But lucky for Edge, he is not a spoiled little brat, but he is the hero, the YouTube champion. He have held that champion for 400 plus days. He have been a champion since September of 2022, and it has been a year and 4 months. It's been a lot more days, and I'm going to count when there's a day when these two going to fight. But this story all started for those who did not catch up with JTS Wrestling, who are busy with something, with some work assignments or whatever. I'm just going to give you a descriptive account of these two, of this story. It was Fastlane, and Seth Rollins was into a match with Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton. And it was this episode of JTS Wrestling, I believe it was after Revolution. It was the episode where the Rated R superstar Edge and Seth Rollins were celebrating, and Edge celebrated the celebration of the Judgment Day by handing Seth Rollins the car keys. But it was turning into a battle. It was turning to something that this company have never witnessed. That is Randy Orton coming out, Brock Lesnar coming out, and both these two cussing, and doing a promo battle between the three of them. And it is a match. It is a match in the making, because we have never seen in this company that two of the Judgment Day leaders, two that is in one particular faction, is going to collide. But this is not just a faction, the Judgment Day. This is the faction that has been introduced by the Rated R superstar with his creativity to bring this faction as the Judgment Day. We have seen the Shield and they break up. But do you think that the Judgment Day will break up? Well, that's a question to everybody who's watching here tonight. what will happen at JTSAMANIA 6 Night 2. If you have some predictions, then if the comments are allowed, leave your predictions down below. But yeah, we did not finish with the whole story between these two, because Seth Rollins was going to Fastlane, and not only did he survive between Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton into what is a collateral damage. Well, Seth Rollins should have not survived that match, but somehow, someway, Seth Rollins was the victor, and he is the new number one contender for the YouTube champion. Like, this is not purposely. Seth Rollins did not want to challenge his boss, the Rated R Superstar Edge. Like, he didn't want to challenge him by means. He didn't want him to challenge. Seth Rollins didn't want Edge to challenge purposely, but it's because he had to climb. He had to climb a mountain, and he go on to Fastlane. He didn't know that he was going to win, but he did it, and he didn't let us down. But it has come to this. He cannot back down from a challenge. He already said himself that when it comes to the YouTube champion, he will not let it slip. Seth Rollins will not let it slip, but there's gonna be respect between them, but are you sure there's gonna be there? Do you think you trust the Rated R Superstar because this company has become R rated because of Edge? But yeah, so that we wrap up with this video here, the JTSAMANIA 6 Night 1 and 2 full match card reveal, and plus with the storylines breakdown. It's me, Jared Social Cheers, and the next video will be, of course, JTSAMANIA 6 Night 1. And until then, we'll see you at JTSAMANIA 6 Night 1. Good night, everybody.